Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Dan, and today's a very special episode because we are reviewing the GoPro Hero 11 Black, and I'm putting it up against the GoPro Hero 10 Black. Doing a kind of a comparison video, running through all the new features and kind of what sets them apart, because if you look at specs on paper, it's kind of underwhelming almost. Like this, the same specs, same resolution, same video frame rates. So we're gonna see what the differences are in this video. GoPro did not sponsor this video. I went out and I bought this camera with my own money, so I can say whatever I want. That being said, I'm pretty sure it is going to be a good review. I mean, GoPro is an amazing company. They make really solid cameras. I am filming this in the new 8x7 mode, which is kind of more of a square frame compared to the 4x3 mode that you see on the older models. The benefit of that is just amazing in what they can do, because now you don't have to choose between going vertical and going horizontal. So you can choose that 16:9 aspect, which is amazing, which is your standard for YouTube and any sort of online platform like that. And then you have your vertical platform for your TikToks and your Instagrams and those sort of social media platforms. So it really does take the guesswork out of both, so you don't have to be turning your camera and kind of going back and forth and thinking and having to do two shots, when you can just film one shot and get both right there, and then you can do it later. A lot of times you can do two shots and have one take going vertical, one take going horizontal, but sometimes if you're doing an action sequence, it's a one-shot deal and you don't have the time to go and film it both ways. So this really gives the best of both worlds. Another thing that's new on this camera, which I'm mostly excited for, other than a couple things like Hyperview, which we'll get to a little bit later on, but the 10-bit color. Right now I have both cameras side by side, auto white balance, so it's kind of gonna be good to see what they kind of do and if there's any change in the white balance algorithm and what GoPro thinks the white balance is, if it's any better on the new one versus the old one. But yeah, the 10-bit color is gonna make a huge difference, because you're going from 8-bit, which is effectively 16.7 million values of color, to over 1 billion. So you're not gonna see those banding lines you do when you really grade your footage. You're gonna see a lot more smoother gradations. It should help out with the dynamic range as well. I mean, I'm doing this hike right now, and this rock behind me is it's just quartz, so it's extremely white, extremely bright. I think it'd be a good test because you got the white rock, you got the blue sky in the background, sun hitting directly off of it, and we're gonna see how well the dynamic range, if there's any improvement. We're gonna keep hiking and see how much of a benefit this gives. So this is testing out the new Hyperview lens on the GoPro Hero 11 versus the superview on the GoPro Hero 10, and it is a little bit wider. I mean, it's a little bit warpy though. If I move my hand over to the side, you could see it's doing some really funky stuff, kind of really warpy, really stretching out the image. But in a selfie scenario, I wouldn't recommend it, but I would recommend it for like point of view stuff. So if you're doing anything mouth mounted, chest mounted, head mounted, it's a much better option for that. It's extremely windy today, so that's a perfect audio test to see how the wind noise reduction works. Microphone placement still the same. The body is the exact same as the Hero 10, which is last generation, which is a good thing. Honestly, a lot of these reviewers always complain about having it be the same body and they don't really change it up and stuff, but I think that's an amazing feat, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The batteries will work with both models. They do ship the new model with the Enduro battery, which gives you, I think, 38% more battery coverage over last year's model. Which is a huge plus, because I found I was kind of ripping through batteries, especially on those higher frame rate modes and the high quality modes. Your 4K 120, that just ate through batteries. So it is good to see that the new battery is holding a little bit longer. All right, so we're getting to a darker section of this hike, which is a perfect test to do the stabilization. You have the Hyper Smooth 5.0 on the new GoPro Hero 11 versus the 4.0 on the Hero 10, just to see what the difference are, if any. I personally think the 5.0's benefit is going to cater more towards that 360 horizon lock, and that's where you can kind of spin the camera 360 degrees and it's going to keep that horizon level, versus the 10, where it used to go to just about 45% angle before it would either cut to vertical or it would bounce back. Okay, so we are in the darker area now. I'm just going to film it kind of point of view style and see how well the new Hyper Smooth works on either camera, actually. I'm just walking, I'm hand holding the tripod with the cameras on them. And Of course, it did just rain, so it means these rocks are extremely slippery. I'm gonna try and do it one-handed and film it. But I am gonna go slower than I usually do. There we go. Well, yeah, we're in high country. Amazing spot. I did get to the top. It was like way too windy. Some like crazy wind gusts were coming in, whatnot. But anyway, back to the review. Yeah, I'm really liking this 8x7 mode. It's just, the flexibility it gives you is just unparalleled. And I really wish, like, not even GoPro and action cameras, but just more cameras and companies would do this in general, like Canon, Nikon, Sony, Panasonic, like all these companies. If they utilized a square sensor, it would just give you that much more real estate to work with, and it's just better for everybody. I know it probably increased costs on cameras and stuff because sensors are expensive to make, but nevertheless, I mean, it's just, I see it as the way of the future. So good on you, GoPro.